Hey guys, Car197 again. This time with a review of the 144 scale high-grade Middle Century Zaku 2 FZ from the Mobile Suit Gundam 0080 OVA series. For the color scheme, you get your typical Zaku 2 color scheme, but what is a bit less standard, however, the pipes, which are kind of a yellow-brownish color, definitely are an interesting look when contrasted with the green. And overall, this thing just has really nice little extra details added all over the place, which do make it stand out slightly more than the regular Zaku. Combine that with a quite unique head and also really great color accuracy, and you've got a really nice-looking Zaku. And in terms of color accuracy, you only need these stickers. The usual Zaku 2 Mono Eye sticker, and then the black to go behind the usual Mono Eye sticker. And as you can see, we get 2 Mono Eyes and 2 of these black things. That's because we also get an extra head. And when we look into the snout, you can see that even the black inside of the snout is molded in a separate color. So we have some really good engineering on this thing. And then the final thing we're getting for stickers is a marking sticker with the Xeon symbol, which you can put on the shield or anywhere else you'd want to. On to articulation. The head will rotate around all the way, up and down, only a little bit because, of course, we have a pretty giant German helmet on this thing, and then also forwards and backwards a bit. Arms rotate around all the way, go up nicely like that, and on the other side this thing folds open a bit and only hinders the upwards arm movement slightly. It does still hinder it a bit, but nothing too bad. And this thing can also rotate around. It's on a ball joint, so we'll wiggle around as well. Arms rotate around. Elbow, only a single joint. And this is unfortunate because it came after the Zaku 1, which did have a double elbow joint. Hands, ball joints will wiggle around, turn around, do everything a ball joint does, and the arms will also move slightly forward. It is from the waist down, however, that this thing becomes the most impressive. The waist itself actually moves, which is not something we get with all Zaku 2s, partly due to the way they're designed, but still really cool to have this. Waist, front skirts, as always, mold together, can be separated, and then the legs go forwards really nicely, and then there's even an extra joint which allows the legs to go forwards and backwards even more, giving this thing some really nice articulation in his legs, even allowing him to do a split. Not too bad for a Zaku. And even the back skirt moves a little bit. Once again, something we don't see a lot, so you can really see the effort that Bandai put into this thing. Outwards, also nicely rotate around on that ball joint, and the knees double jointed. So we only get about 90 degrees. Of course, we have the pipe getting in the way, but more importantly, we get that really nice separation in the knees. The feet forwards on that really cool Zaku flip-flop joint. Backwards, not quite as much, but so be it. Side to side a little bit. And once again, you see some of that separation going on. That top part is separate from the bottom part. At the time, this was absolutely really cool. Side to side a bit. Overall, with a few exceptions, the articulation on this thing is absolutely phenomenal. For the time, it was really great. And even for today's standards, I would say it's still able to keep up, especially because even modern Zakus have issues with double jointed elbows. On to accessories. Let's start off with the Heat Hawk, the thing he used a lot in the final battle. Now there is one issue with the Heat Hawk. If you want to put it into the right hand, you only have the trigger finger hand, and it's not that great at holding on to it. You either have it like this, or like this. Wait, what's that? It doesn't look too bad like this? Well, just wait. Yeah, that's quite a big gap right there. So, unfortunately, our iconic Heat Hawk is only going to be usable in the left hand. or kind of awkwardly to the right hand. Another use for this thing, let's say we don't want to use our iconic Heathawk, is to store it on the backpack. Clicks on there, super secure. Ironically enough, the most secure way to have this thing on the machine is in storage. And then we also get an absolutely massive machine gun. I love it. But really, when comparing it to a similar machine gun used by the Dom Tropen, you can see that this thing is slightly on the big size and might not be the most, how should I put this, size accurate? In fact, it's so massive, you're probably going to want to use the included left holding hand to hold on to this giant beast of a machine gun. And there is one more use for that left holding hand. Recreating that iconic scene where the Zaku 2 was crashed and Al was hanging around in its hand. The final feature of this thing will allow for even more dramatic scenes to be created. When we flip them around, we have a butt right there for an action base, number 2, with the peg connector. There we go. As always, the inevitable question is, do you want to buy this? Yeah. Now, the most important thing is, if you're a fan of the Zaku FZ or Gundam 080 in general, this is an absolute must-get. It does most of the things you'd want it to, with only a few little annoyances, and it's got some great revolutionary design going on from the waist and below. So the only really annoying things, if you're a fan, is going to be the lack of a right holding hand. Thinking back to the big final battle, he's holding on to the Heathawk with his right hand pretty much the entire time, so that's really annoying. Even on the box art, you can see him holding on to it with both hands closed. So yeah, and I mean the art, not a model kit holding it with both hands. That would have been even worse. So yeah, if you're a fan of 080 or the FZ, a definite get. Now, if you just want any Zaku, the big problem here is, you might have heard this before, but the Zaku 2 is quite popular, and there are a lot of Zakus available, especially nowadays with the high-grade Origin line having some absolutely mind-blowing Zakus. This one just got bumped down quite significantly, unfortunately, and it's now a very kind of mid-tier Zaku, whereas before the Origin line, this would have definitely been one of the better Zakus out there. But you know, it's just those little annoyances that really set it back. And then we also have like no commander antenna, which is just so unfortunate because every Zaku should come with a commander antenna. So in short, it was a great little kit for the time for 1,200 yen. But nowadays, there just have been better ones out there. But if you're a fan of it, absolutely go for it. For size comparisons, first of all, here is next to some other 0080 machines, the Gym Command Ground Type and the HGUC Jaeger. Then next to some other Zakus, the Zaku 1 and the Zaku 2 F2. And both of them have commander antennas, just to taunt him. Next up, here is next to the Alex and the Hamburger. But not just any hamburger. Bacon, cheese, and fried onions. My favorite. And finally, here is next to the standard size Gym Custom and the always bulky Zaku 3. And that's all for this review, and see you all next time.